suppose. I started trying to do YouTube to begin with. I've always really wanted to do something like this. I've always been a chatty kind of person. So, doing something like this, live streaming, creating in general, and just being able to voice my thoughts to anybody who kind of wants to listen, feels like something that I would find really fulfilling. And I do. I find these conversations really, really fulfilling. Like, honestly, I'll come away from these feeling a lot better than I did when I come in, like, every single time. You guys give me the energy that you see before you today. So, I started trying to do YouTube. YouTube's a saturated market. It's real hard to get ahead doing it like that. I started Reddit at around the same time, just generally for conversation. So I kind of give up on the whole YouTube thing, and realised that Reddit had like a streaming platform. I'd kind of watched a few people on there. Thought, wow, that's really cool, like musicians. I've always, as I say, liked the idea of live streaming. Maybe at one point I was more thinking that I'd live stream gaming content, but I think my strengths really do lie in just being able to sit here, look at myself and talk, which is really sad, I suppose, but here we are. Pandemic and stuff, I were in a real weird point in my life where I was kind of struggling for direction, struggling for friends, connection, struggling for somebody to talk to. I was reflecting a lot on the past couple of years of my life that I'd had. Like I say, I'd gone down a real dark path of, heartbreak, mental health issues, depression, anxiety, drug addiction. And, it led me in a position of my life where, honestly, you kind of wake up one day and realise how on earth you made it to this point, and you have no idea how to get back. If you even can get back, you don't have any hope. By that point, you'd already given up on yourself, so you just totally lose all faith and confidence. People around you start to see that and mimic that, lose confidence in you. They start to hate seeing you destroy yourself and destroy your life like that and leave you. And yeah, man, I was starting my recovery and stuff, didn't really know where to turn to, and I kind of turned to Reddit, and here we are, nearly, I think, 6 to 9 months on. We've honestly been in all kinds of different places. I think you guys and gals helped me develop as a person, helped me develop as maybe an entertainer. So yeah, awesome. Man, gotta love yourself. Cliche but so true. I agree. Hey Blistrees, welcome Blistrees. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, I'm mid-ramble. You know what? You know how we do. I'm really, really far behind here. I'm not actually that far behind. We got joined. Is this really live? We are live. Art indeed. Thank you, Badger. We do roll with Backy over here. My apologies. What's it like living in dorms? You got a socket on your fire alarm? No, I don't actually. My fire alarm's okay. It doesn't seem to cause any issues for me. So whoever's cooking. But yeah, it's actually pretty decent living here, man. It's nothing to be overly excited about. It's literally just a shitty little room. But yeah, man, I like it being here. Yes, we do roll with tobacco root though. That is definitely a British thing. The Americans will be fuming when I tell you that, and I'm sorry, I'm a joker, I know. I know I'm a stone because I could tell you rolling a joint just from your head. You got me. Oh yeah. Pardon me. Hey Badger, by the way, welcome my friend. Thank you for joining us. He didn't want me for a sunbeam. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the conversation of Jesus and the values that it promotes is definitely pretty decent. Sharing, being cool to people, etc. But like I say, I honestly think that too much of anything can be really bad for you. And religion's unfortunately no different, man. I think I'm definitely spiritual though. Like I love to meditate. I love to kind of ponder about what my soul is, ponder about what humanity is and where we're going, and like to think deeply about what I can give to humanity and my society and human beings in general, and kind of what human beings have given me. So yeah, man, definitely on that vibe, I suppose. Right, I think that's pretty much there. Ooh, yeah, hit the nail on the head. Lovely. Decided to start doing these chats. Do you think we will see the end of the world in our time on Earth? A sad situation, man. I think we're already seeing somewhat the end of an era or the end of a world. And I think, things like coronavirus and stuff really do put it into perspective for me. It's not going to take much for humanity to really change. Bigger civilizations have fallen than the civilization that we have got right now. Arguably, I agree. But yeah, maybe people argue that this already is end times, but who knows, man. Thoughts on Bitcoin? And thank you for your question, by the way. Thoughts on Bitcoin? So I think Bitcoin's a really cool idea, personally. I'm not a tech savvy person, so you know, like the technology wise, I couldn't really comment on that. Although it's definitely fascinating, and I think an incredible improvement in technology, and just kind of shows where we can take it. I think banks are really predatory. I think they've got far too much money and influence. I think the same can be said for a lot of corporations though these days, unfortunately. So yeah, decentralising that from banks I think is a great idea. Maybe Bitcoin's not the answer, I don't really know. I'm not an economist by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, I do think the concept's really cool. I'm pretty glad that it's taken off. I think it's interesting to see that they can't exactly ban it, otherwise they probably already would have done. I think it'd be a lot easier said than done to ban something like Bitcoin now. I mean, it's literally on global markets and stuff, I think, so yeah. Pretty cool, man. It definitely does raise a lot of interesting questions and conversations. And thank you for your question, my friend. What's it like living in the dorms? Yeah, it's not bad living here, man. I've honestly been through a real shit few years, so to get here is sadly quite the milestone, I suppose. So yeah, man, I'm pretty cool. What is the best thing you have learnt about yourself since starting these streams? Best thing I've learnt about myself. I guess one of the good things that I've learnt about myself is that I can definitely do this, whatever this may be, streaming, interviewing, being somewhat an online personality. I think that I've kind of got it there. I mean, maybe a little pretentious and a bit big-headed to say that, but what I mean by that is I mean that I can confidently talk on a camera, and there's many people that can do that. It isn't exactly an incredible skill in today's society by no stretch of the imagination, but yeah, I do think that I can definitely hold conversations down. I can entertain a crowd of people somewhat, which is definitely news to me. I wouldn't have thought that I really had the right voice, the right demeanour possibly. Maybe a little too in your face, a little too hyper for a lot of people, a little too overthinky and maybe deep. You know, most people don't really give a shit about the kinds of things that I will literally sit and blag my head for hours over. But yeah, man, and I guess another thing is that I really, really enjoy doing this. Not that only that I feel like I can do it, but I do really enjoy it. I get something from streaming that I don't think I've ever got from any other hobby or line of work in my life. So that's definitely a very interesting thought and an interesting concept. Something that I would love to explore further. Something that I really don't mind dedicating every waking minute to. And even if it fails, I think it's still a valiant effort and something worth pursuing, even if it fails. Because I have fun doing it, I enjoy doing it, I'm meeting incredible people. These people that I'm meeting and I have met over the last sort of 6 to 9 months have kind of changed my life in really many respects. So yeah, man, thank you. That's kind of that. I have a friend whose best friend growing up was his pet snake. Oh, that is so cool. But I bet you know what happened next. Maybe I don't want to know what happens next. How long have you been streaming on Reddit? So yeah, I've been streaming probably about maybe 6 to 9 months or something deep. Yeah, I get a little deep. I'm sorry, guys. I should give you some kind of trigger warning. My whole streams are effectively a trigger warning, though. That is so real. Thanks for that. Oh, bless you, man. I agree. It's great to make friends and have a community here. So important, man. So true. So true. I didn't really realise the importance of that prior to this. I guess I did know about it, but you know, like knowing and really experiencing, I guess, really are two different things. And I've really experienced the combined might of a community and the motivation and hope that can instill in a person like myself. I'm a very malleable and influential person, so I hear good stories, man, and I'll swear I start crying and shit. I'll get into stuff, man. I love people. I love hearing about you guys and gals, and I really do, man. It's not just some shtick that I make up, man. Swear. You can ask anybody that knows me, man. I've always been this person, and it just feels like the right time now to be able to come out and try and, you know, maybe push that a bit further, I suppose. But yeah, man. End of the world. You're so well spoken. Oh, thank you. You don't hear that much in from a Bradfordian. Oh my gosh. What's something that's casual now that will be fully frowned upon in the future? P.S. Hi. Hey Tati, hope you had a great birthday yesterday, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Can you create a t-shirt on Teespring? It's too hot for a hoodie in Florida. My gosh, I never even thought of that. I am so sorry. I will definitely get on that today. Yes, thank you. How very, very flattering. Thank you very kindly. Tati, what's something casual now that I don't really know? That's a very good question. I was thinking of something very similar question of this recently, but what I can tell you is something that was recently casual but now is frowned upon. Kind of halfway. Meet me halfway. So yeah, basically like trolling online used to, I think, be a really accepted thing and a cool thing, like, you know, lolcows and stuff. Tati, I know you know what I'm talking about there. Most people probably don't. A lolcow is effectively somebody who the internet has ganged up on to bully, and this person gives a reaction to bullying, so the bullying persists and people go out of their way to document this bullying so other people can see, laugh at it and get involved. This used to spark literal forums and like websites and stuff off just for one person, like people like Chris Chan, people like Shani for Christ, and honestly, they're just like really eccentric people that have tried to go out there and share a bit of their life, just like myself, effectively. And they've kind of been bullied for it in return, and then they've kind of, I agree, reacted a little bit wrong, and they're probably a little less aware than most people are, which I think makes it even more disgusting. But so many people used to get involved on this kind of shit. These lolcows used to get absolutely annihilated online, and it wasn't seen as, you know, like cyberbullying. It wasn't seen as mean. Like, literal nice people were going out there and doing it, and it was all this just bystander effect, etc., etc. All this kind of crazy shit. But nowadays, obviously, people don't do that. You see somebody getting bullied now online, and you think, wow, that's properly disgusting. Most people probably did think of it back then, but it just seemed to be way more socially acceptable. Something that I'm glad isn't socially acceptable anymore. But yeah, sorry Feather, I will definitely get that sorted. Yeah, thank you so much. We do have hoodies, but it's probably too warm for a hoodie for you. I really didn't think of that, I'm so sorry. Can you sing a song about me and how handsome I am? Oh gosh, I wish I could. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at singing, so you really don't want that. It's like the most least flattering thing that I could probably ever do. But just know that as a human being, honestly, as long as you're striving to be the best person that you can and to honestly live and act out of pure intentions, then you have a special place in my heart. You always will. I think looks, honestly, the least of people's worries. Really worry about what's going on inside, how beautiful you are inside, because that's something that you can actively change, actively something that you can work towards, something that adds so much more than your looks to the to your surroundings. It's so much more influential than just sort of being handsome and trying to make yourself look good. And you know, I think if you're awesome. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, you are awesome. Hey King Prawn, thank you for joining us. Oh bless you, I hope you're doing okay, King Prawn. Welcome to the stream, my friend. It's getting late. Oh bless you, good night, God bless Rude. Thank you for joining us for the time that you have, nearly an hour, over an hour almost. My gosh, thank you, Rude. I really don't realise how long I end up sat here blasting you guys' ears for. Thank you for joining us for so long, I appreciate that, man. Awesome. You're welcome. See you, Rude. Thank you, guys. So glad you've got your housing sorted. Miss your recent streams. Oh, thank you, King Prawn. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been here for a while, I guess it's kind of a nice transformation. I remember probably one of the first times I met you was when I was streaming at my dad's house from the PC, and I was really going through this whole thing, and at the time, thinking back, it was a real struggle, man. It was weighing on me quite a lot. So yeah, it's great to be here, man. Why are you wearing earphones? Who are you listening to? So the earphones, I just basically keep them in like all day, because if I'm not streaming, I'm constantly listening to music. So yeah, sorry about that. I hope it sounds okay. Trolling, yeah. Keep talking that joint out. I know. I swear I can't take a drug. And the headphone comment, yeah, your voice is epic. Thank you so much. Bless your soul. Do I support Brexit? It's one of those. Honestly, I'm not really for it or against it. It's just kind of one of those things. If society kind of wants that, then fair enough. I'm going to support it. If they don't, I'll support it. I don't feel like I really know enough about that whole shtick to be able to say so. So yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? I didn't vote, to be quite honest, which is probably terrible, really terrible. But who am I listening to? I've posted so much music recently on Discord and on Reddit, so check it out if you really want to know. There is some interesting music there, though, to be fair. When did you know you had reached rock bottom? Was it a feeling or a moment that made you realise? That's a very good question, Kings. So, I mean, it was a gradual kind of transformation, and there was a few powerful moments that I guess really made me stop and properly question my sanity. But one big time that I always sort of talk about, which I guess is the one that I'll explain right about now, is when I purposely overdosed on heroin. Sorry, somebody asked what I was on. I was on heroin, unfortunately, a couple of years ago now. I've been clean basically since the start of 2020. And it was for only like maybe a couple of years at the very max, and I was only probably bad for 9 months. But yeah, man, a basic story is I just kind of totally give up on myself. I'd had a couple of shit things happen in life. I didn't really know what I was doing. I tried to self-medicate, and it kind of led me down a path of obviously taking illegal drugs, trying to get the best and the most hardest possible drug that I could get, and I ended up finding heroin. It's obviously incredibly addictive. There comes a certain point in heroin use where you just kind of realise that you're addicted to it and you'll do anything for another bag, and it's really, really sad. And that keeps you trapped. That really does keep you trapped. Like, most people do not think past that. They don't think past, shit, I need a bag, I'm rattling, I'm going to be poorly. Buzzing, I've got a bag now, I'm not poorly. Shit, I need to get a bag now, I'm going to be poorly, I've no heroin. A bag, that's basically heroin. And that's where your life is. It's just doom, 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 doom. Constantly on a cycle. Whether you inject it or smoke it, it can be like a 6 or 12 hour timer. In 12 hours, if you don't have another bag sat there, you are going to be poorly again. You're going to be inambulatory, totally disabled to the world, cannot do shit. Nobody's going to give a shit about you. You can't go to the doctors or anything because they don't give a shit. If you're not on any medication, which I wasn't on medication for a while, you know, you really are going to struggle badly. But yeah, man, I overdosed. I'd kind of had enough. Like, I'd realised that there were no way that I could keep it up. I couldn't afford to keep doing heroin. I couldn't. My health couldn't afford to keep doing heroin, so kind of made the plunge. I ended up passing out. I ended up getting found by somebody in the hostel, luckily. And yeah, woke up in hospital, man, like obviously feeling really rough, panicking about heroin and shit, because like I didn't expect to be here. I was so goddamn upset with everything. It didn't work, you know. I was still there, like hospital kicked me out. There were none of this, you know, stay here as long as you like bullshit, and none of this happy talk to me and make sure we're alright. They literally threw me back out on the cold streets, 8, 9 in the morning. I was homeless, had nowhere to go, no food, and it was at that kind of moment that I just thought, wow, shit, man, I really need to figure something out. I need to get on medication because I cannot be in this situation anymore, and the other alternatives aren't working out. Like, nothing is working out right now. I really need to focus, kind of thing. A previous conversation, a passing conversation that I'd had with just a random lady who basically said, look, you're in a place where you can choose to be anything you want, man. Like, what the hell are you doing with yourself? You obviously sound like a well-spoken chap. You don't seem dumb. What's going on? This were kind of maybe in the months prior to that, and this were playing on my head. And yeah, that was all. That was a real bad moment, and that kind of made me think, right, I need to get on medication at the very least, so I don't have to worry about it all the time. Then literally, the day I got on medication was the day I stopped it. I never touched heroin again when I got on medication. So it's a very important part of recovery, I think, getting on meds. Buy a t-shirt, thank you, 69 my birthday, so that's kind of cool, awesome. And what is the significance of that number beside the obvious? So yeah, basically the number's just to distinguish my name from others. Cloud Surfer, you see, was actually taken, so there is another Cloud Surfer out there somewhere on Reddit, but I don't think he's as cool as I am. I'm only joking, he's probably way goddamn cooler. But yeah, it was just to distinguish me. There is no real actual significance to it, other than the Summer of '69 is one of my coolest songs ever. But yeah, there's more significance in the name Cloud Surfer. Cloud Surfer more refers to the pink cloud effect, that I think he's more an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic reference, which basically explains being high off life and kind of somebody who's turned to drugs to get that kind of buzz and happiness, realises that they don't need to get it from that drug anymore. As I say, it's more an alcoholic kind of phrase, but I was going through that period where I was kind of high off life and buzzing off no drugs. So yeah, pink cloud, Cloud Surfer, surfing that pink cloud. It's kind of just all fell in place. But yeah, people are way more aware of the effects of bullying. Yes. Cancelling is bullying its own right on its own. Very true. Cancel culture's gone crazy. Yeah, very true. It has. People have been cancelled for some crazy shit these days. Bad girl, what is good? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I know, right? Just sat here chilling. It's such a different dynamic. But I enjoy these streams, like just being able to sit here and chill and chat just literally for as long as we possibly want, and as long as you guys will literally stay here for. It's awesome. I love it. But thanks for joining us, man. Hope you are okay. Hope everything is good over in your part of the world. You are awesome. Thank you. Bless your soul. I appreciate that, man. You have the energy of a kids' TV presenter, but in the good way. I would honestly love to be a kids' TV presenter. Like, it's not exactly something I've ever watched and thought, oh, I'd so love to do that. But honestly, the idea of being something joyous for kids is pretty cool. Yeah, man, why not? I would definitely love to do that if I ever got in the position where I was influential enough to be able to make a kid's day by going and doing some acting shit at some kind of event, then I would definitely fill my time up with wholesome shit like that. So you can definitely be assured that if I do get anywhere in life, then I will be doing good things with my time, my influence. Like, that is for sure. Presenters of the bomb, though, they are really cool, though, right? King Prawn. Been struggling a bit. My nan passed away this week, so withdrawn from everything a bit. Oh my gosh, man. I'm so sorry to hear that. Literally, just the fact that you even call your nan hits me right in the heart. I used to call my nan, which is kind of a unique little one. I don't hear many people saying that. I'm so sorry for your loss, first and foremost, man. And honestly, gosh dang it, my heart really goes out to you, because grandparents in general can be a real huge part of your life. And yeah, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. Genuinely so sorry to hear that. If you ever want to chat, man, please hit me up. I am genuinely there for you in any way that I can. I know it's obviously not ideal, some random poor kid from Bradford, but I will definitely try my best, man, because I do feel that that's awful, man. I'm really sorry about that. Thanks for sharing, by the way, as well. Thank you for sharing. Have you thought about getting into podcasting or radio? Yes, I have, Amberglow, in fact. So I've really been trying to get my dad on doing a podcast with me for ages, because he's like got a setup at home. But my dad is such a flake. He will say that he'll do it one day and then just totally bum out and not do it. So, like, I have literally planned full episodes that me and my dad were supposed to do, but we've never got around to doing them. I really do want to do podcasting or something, or, you know, like, I guess some kind of extended conversation, but on a topic of something. I guess I'm looking for getting a PC, so I'm working towards saving up to get a PC for in here, and then obviously I can properly do streams with the application and stuff. So yeah, just working towards that. Obviously funds right now are hella tight. I've just moved and stuff. I'm working with the very basics at the moment, literally no TV or fridge, living like a raw dog out of plastic carrier bags, but it's all good. But yeah, I want to get a PC and then a microphone and stuff, so I can start doing stuff like that and doing creations aside from live streams. So yeah, thank you for your question. I'd love to do stuff like that. What were the things or events that made you realise that your efforts were to get out of rock bottom, where they started to pay off? So like I say, honestly, getting on medication was a huge milestone for me. My dad had already said to me, like, look, what you need to do is get on meds and stop this whole waking up in the morning and worrying about heroin situation, and you need to denormalise, if that's a word, radicalise even. You need to re-radicalise, going and getting heroin off a heroin dealer in the morning to start your day, which at the time I was like, yeah, whatever. which I did inadvertently do, but looking back on it in hindsight, it's such great information right there, because yeah, you really need to break that cycle. You need to stop that worrying. You need to stop that dependency almost, obviously. And yeah, like I say, by the time I got on meds, because it takes you a couple of months before, like, you can't just ring them up one day and then go get on medication. It's like all a special program. You've got to go through like the one thing that the one organisation that actually sorts that out, with a doctor that can prescribe you these medications. There's only like one place. Waiting list is massive. Luckily, I'd kind of got in there just before pandemic and stuff. So yeah, I were really lucky. Like I think I got on it on medication in February, and then shit started happening in like I don't know when it was. But yeah, like it didn't take me long to get on. Really, it like a couple of months. And yeah, but by the time I got on them, I was so sick of all that shit. I hated heroin. I hated these dealers, these scumbag dealers that was selling me this shit that literally, if I didn't have it, it got to the point where if I didn't have it, I could ring them and be like, oh, I haven't got any, and they'd give me it for nothing, which sounds great, maybe, but that's dreadful, man. That is literally going to keep me on it. Some days, I may have just had no money for a few days and literally had to get off of it, but I never hit that because I knew I could always ring one of them and they'd give me some, because heroin costs them flip all over here. And yeah, man, I guess it was when I got on the meds and I got to that point and it was like, wow, I've actually got it now. There were a few days in between where you're basically going to be a little bit poorly going on the medication that I got on, Subutex, something called Espinal, which are also blockers as well, so they effectively kill off your ability to take heroin. So yeah, it was like I got on them and I thought there's no point now in me like taking any more heroin. I may as well go through the couple of days of feeling a little rough and just, stick to these now. Not have to put any more money in these dirty dealers' pockets, which is what I did. And yeah, like I've never touched heroin since I got on that medication. Partly because they are a blocker. If I went out and smoked it now, it'd be an absolute waste of money. I'm literally better off rolling up a piece of paper and smoking that, because I'd probably get more off of it and it'd be less toxic for me. So yeah, in the early days maybe there was some little tinges of feel shit today, should I go and get a bag, but I knew there were going to be no point. So yeah, that's definitely a big turning point. Thank you guys. Looks like you've lost weight. I've actually put so much weight on, believe it or not. But you're looking good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I used to be such a scrawny, skinny dude. I weighed like 8.5 stone. I weigh like nearly 11 now, believe it or not. I'm gonna start working out as well. Not to be like some big hench dude or anything, just to kind of try to tone myself up a little bit more. Not get fat, obviously. So yeah, thank you very kindly though. Thanks for the hugs, guys and gals. I am 8 minutes behind on these. I take Suboxone, yeah, they're called Espinal. Vicious cycle, so very true, right there with you. The world is a better place when you quit that shit. Thank you. Like you can finally see. Thank you, man. Thank you. Love you, cares. Proud of you. Bless you, guys and gals. I really appreciate it, man. This is the content that many people need to hear. Keep doing what you do. Thank you. Hopefully so, man, even if it's just one person. And like I say, like if there is anyone out there struggling, man, I literally do have, I documented all the shit that I did. I do have a little bit of a plan of things that I did in the early days to really kind of try and make a big change and to move away from that whole lifestyle of addiction and stuff. Which might seem hypocritical as I sit here before you smoking a drug, but yeah, I definitely think there's a conversation to be had about weed and whether it's actually that bad and stuff, but yeah. The less architecture distracts us when you're streaming. Thank you. Yeah, you can. And that's same for me as well. Like, I like to look at the architecture even though I've seen it a million times. And that does, stop me from kind of focusing a little bit. So yeah, man, heavy stuff, man. So glad you're there. I needed someone like you in my ear today. Thank you, Kings, man. I appreciate that so very much, man. Bless your soul. I'm a bricklayer by trade. I'd lost. I've not worked for a few years, though. Oh, gosh, it makes me feel so awful saying that. Kez. The Glove Police is back. Oh, thank you. The Glove Police. I love it. Always reminding me to keep my hands warm. You gotta love that, man. Is this the new flat? It is, my friend. The nice and new flat. It's so small. I get to keep it so nice and tidy and clean. It's so very easy. So yeah, awesome, man. That's a good idea. Those programs where you can read books for kids would suit you a lot. Oh wow, that's awesome, man. Good point. I would definitely love to do something like that. And I mean, I do that shit for free, genuinely. Oh, Kez, I love you. Thank you, Bliss, man. Appreciate it. I can feel the love, man. Much love, brother. Thank you. You're very welcome.